Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
This is To Wit, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Kristi Campbell.
And I'm Melinda Smith. Oh my gosh. Your face. Welcome back.
And we're back. And I'm actually pretty legitimately Kristi Campbell. I think I finally have changed the last of my personal banking things.
And even your go-to meeting face says Campbell now. Yes. Last time it said Guzman.
Yes.
Oh, the Campbell.
I know.
I'm telling you ever get married again, you're going to be like, I can't. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm keeping my name.
I don't even, unless it's better. But I mean, it's tough to beat Campbell, you know.
It's a good name. It's a good last name. Welcome back,
Hello.
friend. So much has happened.
I know. I feel like for anybody that's listening for like, oh, this is a Salesforce podcast, this might not be the best episode for you. This is kind of we haven't talked to each other all summer, so we're going to catch up on life, which some of it is Salesforce, but we're definitely not talking about, you know.
I mean, that is our life.
Builders, really. Yeah.
We speak in cyan blue.
Cyan or cayenne? That's a big debate.
Is it?
I mean, I say cayenne.
I always feel like whatever I say, I'm always hesitant. I'm like, cyan.
Yeah, there's a few words that you're like, yes. At least if I pronounce it oddly, then you'll know I'm not committing to how I'm pronouncing it. So yeah, when it's like cyan. Yes. Anyway, hello. How are you?
Hi. So the last time we talked, we wrapped up Southeast Streamin'. Not we. Well, we're one and the same. And then this summer was Witness Success, year 3. It went amazing again. We had some pretty impactful keynote speakers and people took away a lot from it. I rarely get feedback. And, you know, a lot of times it's hard because you focus on like the negative comments, but the ones that were maybe not the most glowing were okay. Like there was a couple that I'm like, yep, totally agree. That could have been better. Or, well, there's not much you can do about that, but thanks for the feedback. So I'm like, wow, we got decent feedback. I mean, overall, it was pretty good. I'm very, you know, you can't please everybody. Like 300 some people are not going to be happy, but like it overall was pretty darn good.
That's
pretty
awesome.
Excited about that.
That's wonderful.
And remember when you came to see me to say goodbye?
So
I was having lunch with Jason and his wife, and you popped up just to say hi and give me a hug. And then we started chatting. And later Jason had said, man, you could have just put a mic between the two of you. He's like, it was like you're on. I'm like, well, I mean, that's who we are though. Like
that's
we're
pretty much
the same on the podcast.
The gist of the podcast.
Yeah. It's literally us talking about stuff and things. And some people like to hop on in on it.
How do you feel you did with saying yes to less things in the summertime?
Good, because we did more like family stuff. We had a family trip to Hawaii and we did some glamping in Moab. And then Josh and I went to New York. It was so fun. We went to New York for our anniversary to tag on to a work trip I got to participate in. And it was like, just like less in the sense that I don't feel like I had other obligations pulling at me. But definitely more in the sense that I feel like I got to do more stuff. And last summer, I feel like we didn't do as much. I mean, we did stuff, but we like traveled this year. So it was a lot of fun, but definitely didn't pick up any new obligations. I actually picked up a book, or 2. I know. But yeah, I think we might transition into fall of less, not take on any new big things and just try and keep it pretty chill-ish. Okay. And I have a lot of kid obligations now. She's in swimming, dance, and gymnastics.
Oh, hi.
I know.
Hopefully she'll be real tired at the end of the day.
Yes. Keep her busy, you know.
That's fun. Well, that's the age you got to figure out what you like and what you're good at, you know, or what's fun.
Yeah, and I got to keep her in swimming because summer rolls around every year and it's like she forgets. I don't know. She keeps calling it her lifesaver instead of like life preserver. I need my lifesaver. I'm like, you don't need that, baby. You know how to swim.
I need my lifesaver. I can't even. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I thought if I keep her in swimming, then, you know, she'll not forget. But then dance just opened up and gymnastics is great. So who knows?
Are you going to turn into a dance mom?
Like an hour at most. I mean, I might. Speaking of, have you seen that JoJo chick that's out there? She's got a like clothing line at Target. She's the one that like is I don't know, 16 and trying to look like she's like 9. I feel like it's very problematic. It confuses me. She wears big bows in her hair. Apparently she's a past dance mom person.
Oh, wait, it's a child or an adult?
But she's like 16, but she's still like wearing jumpers and bow tie. And I mean, I don't know much about her, so I'm really kind of speaking out of my ass here. But I feel like she's trying to seem younger, which is just as problematic as, a 12-year-old trying to seem like 21, I guess. It's just, I don't know what it is about it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Interesting.
I don't even know why. Like, you should think that Ariana Grande made me uncomfortable because she's like hypersexualized, and for some reason that didn't, as much as
boast.
Her being older and seeming younger. I don't know what it is, and maybe someone listening can help me articulate. I don't know what it is that makes me feel uncomfortable, but like I saw a friend's post on Facebook that she took her daughter, they're about our same age, to the concert, and I was like, no. But I don't know what it is, like what it is that bothers me so much. I mean, you'd think the other way would bother me more, like seeming younger or older when you're young. I don't know.
I guess maybe.
Anyways, a dance mom, probably not.
You're not gonna go crazy with the big bows.
I mean, I'd like to be more of like a gymnastics mom and make her do that kind of stuff. And, but I don't know.
A different sparkly uniform.
I guess she's only 7. So maybe I take it down a notch. Maybe not sign her up for the Olympics just yet.
She's so tiny though. I could totally see her flying through the air in gymnastics.
Yeah. And she keeps getting taller. But she's and she loves gymnastics. She likes swimming a lot too. And dance. I mean, like you said, I'm just going to keep putting her in stuff and see what she likes. She only kind of liked soccer, but not too much because she was a little put out when someone like stole the ball. And I was like, nah, I get it. I hate that shit too. Yes, it's the sport, but I also
the point,
hate it.
But I don't.
Like, ew, stop it.
I was doing so good.
Yeah,
why did you
not? That was mine. We're on the same team. Ew.
Oh, that's amazing.
So Josh was like, she needs to try harder. And I was like, nah. I mean, that's a good thing about gymnastics and swimming is like, yes, you're part of a team that's kind of individual.
You're still learning those.
I should probably stop projecting on my child.
You're learning those good social skills, but you're not responsible for anyone else's success.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I feel like, I don't know that I did anything specifically that more or less. I'm still doing pretty good about not shooting on myself. I am trying to make more room in my home, in my life, for B-Rad. But I heard this thing on the radio the other day about a half-anniversary, and it was interesting to think about. So it was basically, they were saying, I mean, listen, I hate talk radio. Like, I actually wish they would just play music and shut up. But like, so do you ever drive or it's either that or a song you don't like, and then you're halfway through and you're like, wait, I can change the station. Like, what am I doing? Like, just because I'm driving doesn't mean that I can't
have fingers, I can
push this button on the steering wheel. Anyway, so I was listening to it, and they were talking about how, like, after 6 months, you have probably dropped the facade, if you had one, when you were, on the Tinder or whatever. And you maybe, you started meeting each other's friends, and you probably, maybe farted and, whatever. Like, just that you're more comfortable, and this is your true self. And they were saying that it's a good time to travel, because then, that's, again, kind of a pretty important thing about a person, like how, and so.
Oh yeah. Traveling with someone is huge. I feel like living with someone, you get a lot about, because you travel, people's little isms come out when they travel, like how you pack or how you go through TSA or what you prefer at the airport. And like, it's a thing.
And it is interesting to think too about how you're still, like, I make some assumptions based on what I know of his personality, but then sometimes things happen differently that I would expect. Like, for example, he has social anxiety a lot of times, right? And so we went to eat before the movies, and really there was not great options, so we went to Popeyes, and I guess this chicken sandwich thing's a big deal, but anyway, they didn't have any. But like, the line was slow, like they clearly didn't have enough people, and then like there was people getting attitude, and like they didn't have, their soda machine was broken, and they didn't even have any unsweet tea for me. They only had sweet tea. And like, it was just this combination of things. And I kept trying to be like, we can go somewhere else, whatever. And he's like, I'm fine. And I was like, really? Like, but it's like a learning, I was like,
yeah.
I know,
and I have
right?
anxiety
I was
for
like,
you.
that's so funny because I was like, tell me like why? Like let's iterate. Like, right? How do I learn from this? And he's like, it's right after work, so I would rather be home. So I'd rather just stand here and wait. So it doesn't matter to me. And we don't have to be at the movie for an hour. So it's fine.
Yeah, I get it.
So it was just interesting
Yeah.
though that it was like, but then he also was like extra nice because these other people were like
Yeah.
which doesn't help
No.
anything, obviously, but yeah, he just had a really great attitude.
Huh.
It was nice. So
Perfect.
anyway, so you're still learning things,
Yeah.
but that you kind of know each other. So
Where are
we
you
are
gonna
going to
go?
travel. We booked some
Where?
plane tickets to
Yay! Gonna come see
Denver.
me.
We're going to visit
It's so beautiful
Melinda.
that time of year
Yeah, I'm
too.
excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and I've never been. We're going to go to a hot spring.
Yeah.
I've never been in a
Yeah.
hot
I mean, they
spring.
smell a little bit, but
And go see some pretty things. So, yeah, I don't know that he's ever been to Colorado. I
just
don't think.
know
So,
that the altitude's a thing. Just prepare
oh
for it.
yes,
I mean, I'll make sure that you know
your
that you
face.
have to drink extra water. You'll get drunk extra
Yes, I've
fast.
gotten dry nose. Yes, I've
You
experienced
know
as
this.
such.
You make sure he knows this.
Yes, he is not. Yes, he doesn't
Dehydration.
really drink all that much, so
Oh,
I feel like he'll be
well,
safe.
yeah. I mean, there are people like that exist. I
Apparently.
rarely run into them. I don't
Well,
find them at the
apparently,
bar a lot.
but apparently he drinks liquor drinks more, but doesn't have the occasion to as much. He's like, you usually drink wine, so I just don't drink with you. And I'm like,
I will put what
okay.
you like in
But I
this
mean,
home.
I know, right? I'll be anxious for you. I'll take
Yeah,
care of it.
right.
But I mean, he manages to get along, don't you worry.
Yes.
So yeah, other than that, I've just been hanging, um, chilling with the dog. Oh, I got a roommate, and I'm pretty sure that the dog likes him more than me sometimes. Not all the time. Like, I don't
What?
want it to be all the time. I know. Axel. It's because he's the
I
best.
love
Everyone loves
Axel.
him.
I know.
I
He's amazing.
know. But sometimes he picks Brad over me too. And so I'm like,
You son of a bitch.
he's just trying to get all the pets, I guess.
I mean, let's get real. It does hurt people's feelings. Josh doesn't ever say it too much, but every once in a while he'd be like, "That's totally your dog." I was like, "Well, I'm home more," but
Yes.
our dog before Amy was 100% Josh's dog, but Felix likes me until Olive is home. Then is like, "Oh, my little playmate's here that will play as rough as I want to play." But you got a roommate again.
I did.
And
I do.
why not like why, but like why?
So you know what's so funny in this series of events? Do you actually know the story? Was that a leading question?
Yes, I do not know the story though.
So, it's okay. So my car battery was being stupid, and in the end, I had to like have something was like not turning off in my dash, so it was draining the battery. Blah blah blah. So I was walking to the restaurant near my house, and I saw my friend from the Axe Bar. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Walking to dinner." And he's like, "Well, let's go to dinner together." So he drove me. We went to a new place, and we were talking. And his boyfriend is going to move here in February, and his lease was up, but he didn't want to renew at his studio because by the time he gets here, like he didn't want a whole year lease, and he couldn't afford a bigger place until his boyfriend gets here. So I was like, just live in my house, why not?
That's perfect.
So yeah, and it's great because he was in a studio, so he doesn't have a whole lot of he didn't have a lot of furniture to store or anything. And we get along great, and he likes my dog.
I like your dog.
Yeah, so it's just working out really well. And I mean,
Good.
financially, it never hurts, for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then there might be talks of cohabitation after that. So,
are you going to wait till your whole anniversary or what?
I don't know. I think it's more logistical at this point. Like, do we want 3 people to live in 1,200 square feet? And he has a whole apartment's worth of stuff.
Or just wait till the roomie moves out.
Yeah, but that's until February.
Aw, how cute you are.
We'll see. So, yeah, I mean, love is in the air this summer, huh?
Aw, love is in the air.
With you and your boo face posting your I love you Instagram anniversaries?
Yes, we went to New York. So I didn't have to. I got to go to New York for work. We do a couple pro bono days. We more than 2 a year. We invite clients and friends of clients to come and basically get free advice. A lot of nonprofits show up. So they come with like questions about their org, what they want to do. And then we usually do some kind of team outing. So Josh and I love that city. So we decided to turn it into our anniversary trip too, because it was that Tuesday. So yeah, we just stayed in the financial district and we walked around and hit some of the oldest bars. We did our own little pub crawl and we ate and went to a Cuban restaurant and danced to Cuban music when there was no dance floor or anybody else was dancing but the two of us. And I didn't care. And it was awesome. And we ate too much and drank too much and it was delightful. It was perfect. It was exactly what we like to do.
That's awesome.
I know. 9 years.
9?
I know, right?
That's exciting.
I told him, I was like, this is my longest relationship. And he was like, you say that every year. He's like, you don't have to tell me that anymore. I was like, but I'm so proud of myself.
Once we passed the milestone once.
Yeah. Then... I said, but I'm so proud of me. And he was like, yay? Like, why?
Well, and it's funny too how we're blending Salesforce things with personal things. And like, so I was,
yeah.
Well, and even just, so at the user group, somebody was like, so, why should I go to Witness Success, right? Or why should I go to these events? And I was standing next to Philip Southern, another MVP. And I was like, I think it's tough for us because at this point we know enough people that it's like, yes, it's learning and yes, but it's also like hanging out with my friends now. So it like is kind of vacation-y. But even as I say that, I realize how nerdy that sounds. But it's weird though. So we last published an episode May 26th. So I was being a good egg and doing my homework of the past 3 months. And I was at 4 Salesforce events in 3 months. So my summer of less is apparently doing Salesforce things. But and it did get a little back to back there for a minute. But
well, which ones did you go to?
Since we've talked. I went to Trailhead X, so like official tissue out in San Francisco. And did I go early and go wine tasting? I don't even remember this time. I don't think so, actually. Then I went to Texas Dreamin' and spoke, and I was able to combine that with visiting my family, which was really good. And then I was in Nashville for Witness Success. And then I drove home, slept for a day, and then flew to Portland for Forcelandia, which then at the end of it had some wine tasting. And then I did, how many firsts do you really get in life once you're an adult? I had my first time going rafting, not whitewater rafting, like seriously, but like there was rapids. People fell out.
Terrifying.
Okay. Yeah. The only reason I went is because Angela's husband used to be an Outward Bound instructor, and he's a legit safety adult human. And she has been going with him for years, right? And they're like, so they're experienced people. They own this raft. So I felt much more confident. And it was fun.
And then why in my head did I just flash to Bird Box?
I haven't seen Bird Box, so hopefully maybe that helped me.
It's funny to the people that know.
Maybe that's why I did it. I don't know. But
sure.
Yeah, so it's funny too because that all seems so long ago, but it was all this summer. And
it does. All of it seems a long time ago and yesterday. And I'm lamenting the end of summer. I just don't want it to be over. Yeah. I don't want to put on whole pants or a coat.
But you won't sweat anymore as much, maybe?
I don't mind that. I say that now. Now I have AC. Ask me last year when I was ready to rip my face off at anyone that spoke to me in July in my house. Like it's
yes, that's true. You've been using it up?
Yeah, it's been delightful. I was talking to someone at the liquor store about that, like, oh, I'm missing summer. And she said something about what day it was. And I was like, wait, it's Wednesday, right? She's like, it's Tuesday. And I said, I work from home. And I often wear the same thing a couple days in a row. So the days tend to run together. I mean, truly, they kind of run together. And I'm very fortunate, and I think we've talked about it before, that I love what I do. I really love Arcus. I love the projects and the team and the autonomy that I have. And I wanted to, I think I was probably still in California. And I was like, all right, I always have to have like a game plan, or I have to have a goal. And I was like, I want to be able to be working from home when Olive is in middle school, because middle school is really rough. I think it's really rough, especially I feel like it's rough on girls. Or it just is hard. So that was my goal. And then I got to be here sooner. So I just always want to be mindful and grateful of the fact that I get to work from home. Like, I love it. And I've seen like positions on Twitter, or I would get something in an inbox that it was like, ooh, that position sounds exciting. And I was like, something on site in Boulder. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Makeup every day? I don't think so. I #love my consultant life. I am just very content. It's very funny because I don't have like the 1, 2, or 5 year plan, which is really, really weird for me. I mean, that's a lie. I do have a side note, a side goal, if I should choose, but it's different to not be like clamoring for a thing.
You
like,
also found the right consultant job for you too, because they're not all created equal, for sure.
Yeah. Nope. I worked for the big ones. I worked for even tinier, and then Arcus is the Goldilocks zone, as we've said before. It's just right. And I get to, just to parlay right into the community. A friend of mine reached out and was like, hey, a colleague or a past colleague of mine is, considering consulting or what their next move is. Could I introduce you? And I was like, absolutely. So we met over email, and we're going to get coffee next week. And it's kind of a fun and weird position to be in too. Like, oh, like I actually do have experience. I actually can offer some kind of advice or insight, I should say. And so I'm excited to like share that. But I also, not everyone can work with me either. I mean, like, I can't just make everybody work at Arcus, even though I would love to.
But you can there's other wonderful small consultancies too that you can give an experience.
Yeah, I don't know what I meant by that. I just love my company. Right? I was like, come work with me. Everybody work with me.
I'm really curious what the In the Hole story is.
What's funny is I wrote that and I was like, the fuck did I mean?
You have to come up with something now.
In the hole. No, I do know. I still have it open. It is, I think it's a fable, a tale, but for whatever reason, it's mostly attributed to the West Wing. So there was a Facebook thread with a community member, and I cannot remember who off the top of my head, really should have written that down, that was talking about, oh, see, now I'm getting it all wrong.
I can ask you again.
Maybe like uplifting others or whatnot. So, I mean, this is a terrible segue because it's just going to stand on its own for no good reason. But whatever she had written, I was like, it really makes me think of this story. And then I went to write it and I was like, no, like they're telling their own story. And then it kind of came up again and I threw it on there. But it makes me think a lot about, like, I try to be extra empathetic or extra like safe space for somebody, or like non-judgmental. But I'm sure you've heard it. So it says the guy is walking down a street and he falls in a hole. The walls are so steep he can't get out. And a doctor passes by. The guy shouts up, hey, can you help me out? The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down the hole, and moves on. Then a priest comes along and the guy shouts out, Father, I'm down in a hole. Can you help me out? Priest writes down a prayer, throws it in the hole, moves on. Then a friend walks by and he's like, hey, Joe, it's me. Can you help me out? And the friend jumps into the hole. The guy says, are you stupid? Now we're both down here. And the friend says, yeah, but I've been down here before and I know the way out. And I was like, oh, I just really love that. Like, I get you. I've been dark before. I've been in the shit. I've been in the hole. Like, I got you. I'm here. I came down with you. We can do this together. And I think of that story often. And I think I watched 1 or 2 West Wing, so I'm not 100% on where that pops up, but yeah. So again, it's not a terribly great segue because it's kind of a standalone, but I just think it's a great story for maybe not all the time you have to give advice, or maybe not all the time you have to have the answer, but just to be there. And especially if you've been there before, just kind of be present for your friend or the person in need.
Did that?
Yeah.
So you just interacted with that over the summer? You didn't have like a specific scenario of jumping in?
Nope. I liked what she said. And yeah, she had written something. I was like, it reminds me of that. And I was like, I'm going to put it on the notes, and there's going to be a cool way for me to wrap that all in. Or we'll just make it a standalone. And then cheers to that.
I was about to say, yeah. Did you jump in someone's hole? And then I shouldn't do that.
Always. Who doesn't? Then they asked for it. They were like, please jump into my hole. And I was like, here I am. I'm in your hole.
What else is going on? I subscribed to Freshly. So I've previously made the excuse that going to the grocery store is hard. And if I had ingredients, I would make food. And that's kind of been disproven by my failed, I think I did Home Chef. And then I don't remember the other one I did this time. So Freshly, I equate to basically being like fresh lean cuisines. So it's like in a box, and it's an entree inside, and they like make them and then ship them to me, and they're fresh for like a few days. So I get 6 meals for $60. And then
that's nice.
Yeah, and then you just heat them up for like 3 minutes, and then that's it. So my goal is to eat out less.
That's easy.
Some of them haven't been like, the tastiest food on the planet, but the one I had tonight was really good. So maybe it's just going to be like I find the right good ones, that I really like. But for $10, I can't eat out at dinner for that unless I'm eating total fast food.
No, totally. So it's a good way to go about it with it's already done. We are testing out Green Chef.
Okay.
But even tonight, Josh has been building our deck, and I haven't been sleeping super well lately, so I just wasn't in the mood, and then picked up the kiddo and went to gymnastics. So I was like, can I pick up pizza? And he was like, and I'm like, well, I know that we have the Green Chef, which is all of like 10 minutes preparation. I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah. Even what's funny is even this. So today was like, last week was my first week, and today was the last meal from the first week, but I got the new ones, and I was like, I don't even want to eat it, but I will. Like, I have to, and then it was probably the best one from the week. So it's just funny that get, and I also subscribe to like it's called Hungry Harvest. I think it's basically like the weird shaped fruit and vegetables that they don't sell in the store, but that are perfectly good. They're going to make
like Nordstrom Rack, but for food.
Yeah. So it's like a subscription. It's like a fruit and vegetable subscription box, except it's like the reject box.
Yeah. No,
but they're still going to be good. Hopefully. I mean, that's their pitch. So I'm eliminating food waste and creating plastic waste, I guess. But I think the Freshly boxes are at least
that should better be recyclable, or that's terrible.
Yeah, but even like recycling is totally like China's not buying all our plastic anymore. It's like a whole that's right. It's a whole thing. I'm trying to be better about straws though, okay?
I have a metal straw in my little wine cup.
I don't love the metal straws because I'm worried that I'm going to punch it through into my brain.
Yeah, of all the things I worry about, that's not one of them. Interesting.
Well, and I like the mouthfeel better of this. I have some silicone straws.
Oh, yeah, I like those. I have a plastic one, too.
It's so funny. I got a 5-pack of them from, like, the Bubba Keg. Do you remember that? Like, Bubba... The what? The Bubba Keg. It's just like a...
I know Bubba Gumps. And I know the keg. I don't know them together.
It's just like this. It was one of the first like insulated drinky kind of things that look like a little keg with a handle.
Oh.
And the brand Bubba. They made these straws. And so I use them in my Yetis. They're like tall ones, fat silicone colored ones. And I bought a 5-pack and they're like my favorite. Anyway.
You literally just got Dr. Susie on me. Got little ones, tall ones, fat ones, small ones.
I love them all. Except plastic.
An ounce in a mouse. So the pizza we got, I got pizza. There's this cute little local place that makes them like individual. So I got a gluten-free vegan pizza. Beware.
What?
That sounds terrible, but it was delightful.
Yeah.
I know. Look at your face. You're like, what the
fuck?
I
was about to say, my roommate made a cauliflower crust pizza.
Oh, how was it?
It was really good, but it still had legit cheese on it.
Well, I didn't do so. The cool thing about this place is they didn't try and bushwhack me and put that fake crap cheese on it. It was just a really cool sauce and a ton of veggies. So did it stay together well? No, but I don't care. And I put like this chili oil on it. But so over the summer, actually probably started February, March. We got the dog about April. I'm not sure if I talked about it on the podcast before, but I was having a lot of weird face allergy issues. So I go to the allergist and basically she's like, you're allergic to ragweed, and, the common bullshit. She's like, but your face, that's a whole nother problem. I'm talking like eyeball to eyeball and all the way down, red, rashy bump, hot, itchy. Nobody can figure out what it is. And I've had a dermatologist and allergist basically say it's part of an autoimmune issue. So I'm trying to do like fix your gut, take out gluten, add in kombucha and sauerkraut. And it's been good because I did get a little relaxed in the last, year since I was back on medicine about having dairy here and there, maybe having some grilled chicken here and there. But so now my face is, nobody else can see, but you can see it's a little, it looks like it's a little rosy here, but it's bad if I have beer or gluten or dairy. So I am just a damn joy for parties. I made gluten-free vegan because who doesn't want to hang out with that person? She sounds like fun. I can't eat that, but it's definitely one of those now, like I kind of was relaxed on it because I was back on medicine. I was like, it's fine, but it's my face. Like there's nothing to like send you over the edge and make you feel crazy insecure,
right?
As a like welted face. So here I am. But let me tell you some cool things I've found. Okay. And I'll probably come back to it, or I'll just call it a super fave now. Is in the book I was reading, it's called Eat Dirt, and it really talks about fixing your gut, and it talks a lot about, and this is a functional medicine doctor, because as we know, a lot of MDs have like 4 hours of nutrition training in the 4 years that they're in school, or 12 hours or something like that. And functional medicines actually talk and learn specifically about what you put in your body. And we've talked ad nauseum about how I have been my own testing rabbit or testing guinea pig on what can and can't work. But there's a lot of things that's really connected to gut imbalance. And that's not news. This isn't like life altering for anyone that's listening, but it's just true. So I was trying to take out the things that are inflammatory and bring in things that are. So I was like, yogurt. I'm like, I can't eat yogurt. I'm like, I tried that So Delicious yogurt. It was just crap. But I found plant-based Chobani that literally tastes just like regular yogurt. And then I get this like really live yogurt that's weird and tangy and thick. And I have it. And it's amazing. And I feel like my face is better. What? And I get to have yogurt again. And I think it's a coconut milk base. It's delightful. So yeah, so all summer I've been trying to, I got some CBD with a little bit of THC cream. It's like a balm that really helps calm it down too. And so does like the CBD pills. But I got to tell you, I am just sick of it. I'm sick of waking up and being like, oh, my face is inflamed today because I didn't get enough rest, which is another thing, which is super fun because I can control that. And I'm just tired of all the shit. I'm tired of all the restrictions, and I'm tired of thinking about what I'm eating and what I'm not eating. But it is what it is, and here I am, and that's not going to change. And I feel like
this is a good example of like not grass is always greener, but like how everyone's worried about something, and so therefore we should all just get over it. Because so my family, I'm sure we've talked about, has a myriad of various medical things, and I do not have the big shit, but I have the annoying shit. So one of those things is something called hidradenitis suppurativa, which basically
sounds like a flower.
Nope, not at all. Actually, it gives you these bumpy rash, like pimply things and like inconvenient places. But the reason I don't know why we went there. The thing I was going to say though is I also have rosacea. And it's really interesting because so basically I've like never bought blush in my life, right? Like on purpose, because I wouldn't do that. Like, my face is always red. And so recently I've actually had like an actual breakout that's more pimply versus just the broken blood vessels that make my cheeks look red. But like, it's interesting how it's a whole like green makeup. And
so that's autoimmune too, right?
What?
Rosacea.
Oh, sure.
It's all this like fun bucket that they just put everything in now.
I
don't know what that is. It's autoimmune.
I just love that
everybody does.
Like literally every skincare thing thinks they have something that treats it. So like literally every time I'm at the dermatologist,
my mom has it. She's just dealt with that.
I'm like, do I need to try blah blah blah? Do I need to try blah blah blah? And she's like, no, you do not. So, I mean, could I take better care of my face? Sure, but
I just don't think that's from the outside, though, friend. Like I'm no fucking doctor, obviously, but I have gotten better results from controlling what's in than what's out. But still, it's like even today, Josh. This is going to sound shitty. I don't mean it that way. He was like, oh, your face isn't doing so well today. But he talks to me every day. Like every day it's like, good morning. How did you sleep? Because we're old. And it's let's talk about my face. Like this is just the normal check-in every day. Like we may as well be like, how are you? Did you poop today? How's your face? Like this is.
Does he have a thing that you check in on? Does he have like a rash on his leg? Or
oddly enough, he doesn't typically, but he's like spotty on his chest since we went to New York. So I don't know. I'm just telling you. I went to post a tweet like earlier this week and I read it out loud and I was like, wow, I just sound like such a downer. But I'm like, being an adult is being like so comfy in your bed and be like, oh my God, my bed feels so good, while simultaneously having hip and back issues like, oh, everything hurts. And I was like, being an adult is so grand. It's just the best. And I read it and I was like, man, you sound like such a downer. So I deleted. I was like, I couldn't come up with a gift that made it light. I was like, all right, I give up.
Yeah, if there's no gift to save it, then get out of here.
Right. I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to tweet that. Because I could just imagine my friends being like, damn, what's wrong with her? But yeah, I mean,
I'm so happy yet
the
so
face
sad.
thing is just, I know. I'm going to the GI doctor. I see him like once or twice a year. Well, really like once to discuss it. But I mean, I'm trying to find that happy balance between this is just how it is. Like this is life. And if I want my face to break out, cool. Then I can do what I want. If I want my insides to feel kind of crappy, then yeah, go for it. Eat cheese, eat the dairy, whatever. Just know that that's a consequence. Have the beer and know that you're going to look like you have chicken pox. Like and I'm going to do what I want to do, but I also feel better. And if I don't, which I feel like it's, when your face is screaming at you, you just kind of have to listen. Having to take out gluten was a weird shift because it's not bad. Like I've had a lot of alternative options. I've had gluten-free pasta that I made the other night, which was delightful. I've had gluten-free bread. The gluten-free crust for the pizza was good. It's just weird. And I don't ever want to be a pain in the ass. Like going to eat somewhere, I will not be the person that's like me. I mean, if I'm with family, I'll ask, hey, what's in that? Can I have that? But if I'm like with a group of people, I'm not going to be the person that's like, I mean, do I want to go to Fogo de Chão? I mean, that's probably not the best place for me. But will I go? I'm not going to be the 1 out of 10 that's like, I can't eat that because I don't know. I don't want to be a pain. But it just feels like I'm a pain. Like I'm annoying myself. Do you know how hard that is to do? Listen, I am annoyed at me.
Getting more than 4 people to agree to do anything at the same time at a place that everyone's happy with is impossible anyway. So, especially if none of them are married. Because really when they're married, it's 4 people, but it's 2 people. You know? To deal with.
Yeah.
But man, we were planning something the other night and I'm like, here are these carefully curated options. And somebody was like, what about this other brewery nearby? And then of course everyone else is like, sounds good, see you there. And I want to be like, what am I? Chopped liver? Why are you recommending a brewery when it's somebody's birthday who's on keto? But it's fine.
That sounds amazing.
Here's another thing. Yeah. Now I feel like we're devolving, but
did we have a path? We do not.
This group of girls told me that I'm the glue, right? It just is the weirdest catch-22. Maybe I want you to invite me somewhere sometimes. My phone accepts incoming calls. Why do I have to be the one to herd the 6 cats together. You all have bigger houses than me. You all, like, it just is like, yay, great, I can be that person. And by nature, I think, I mean, if you've met my mom, you know, like, I'm just, yeah, like, let's plan this. Sure, let's do this. But then, like, I don't
just rely on me.
Yeah, because then I go on these little mental protests where I'm like, I'm not going to plan anything and I'll see if anyone reaches out to me. And then they don't. Yeah. And then I feel shitty. So why do I do that to myself? But then it was just funny that it was like a wholly different group than like my past life marriage life group where that would say the same thing. And it's like, oh, so maybe that's what I am in a friend group.
Yeah, you know, but I feel like it could be a different way. Like I've been called that before, but I think it was more like, well, this is a perfect example. When I moved to California, I have a couple girlfriends that literally never hung out. We always hung out together, but I wasn't there. So they didn't plan stuff together, not because they didn't like each other, but they felt like they were my friends individually. And even though they were friends, they didn't really reach out to each other. So there was like a whole group of people that didn't really hang out. So I think it still could be a good thing. It can also be a little anxiety ridden if you try and get a group of people together that maybe don't always get along. Not get along, but like don't enjoy each other's company, I should say. Because I feel like if we're going to do something, like everyone can just get together, but it doesn't always work like that. But maybe they meant like the glue as in, you know, you bring people together. Well, I mean, I guess that's the same as what you're saying. You bring people together because you freaking plan it. Hey, I was trying. What about work shit? Weren't you like launching something big last time we talked?
I did. We launched the thing.
Because you're like the community's expert. Attention, all listeners.
No, I'm not yet.
Community expert here.
Calm down. No, I should be studying for my certification test. I'm going to go for Community Cloud Specialist. Hopefully I'm not being cocky about it, but that's mostly what I do now. But yes, we did launch our custom reporting that we built. We've launched 2 releases of it. So yeah, it's going pretty well. It's been an interesting journey of realizing that other people's brains don't work the way my brain works. And that's good. That we need all these different people. I think it's still the struggle, right? Of like, why doesn't it, like, it's an interesting project. And now I get to do kind of a new different thing, which can be good. But yeah, it's been interesting to see like, okay, so I have this, I get a bug, right? It doesn't do this. Well, what did you expect it to do? Does that only work in certain languages? Does that like, okay, so why do you think that it should do this and not that? And like those kinds of finding all that balance of.
Well, and I would just take it personally, just to be a real dick. Like, I built this, and you're like, this doesn't work. I'll be like, fuck you. I'm sorry. Can you please explain to me how this doesn't work? It doesn't not work. You're doing it wrong. But, like, that's my first inclination, is to feel like you're challenging me.
That's what's so funny. There's somebody at my work that I feel like I was teasing that, like, they don't have resting bitch face so much as they have, like, resting, like, default judgment tone. Or like default doom tone that like everything seems like the worst. Like, it doesn't do that. And it's like, no, it doesn't do that. And if that's your biggest problem, then you really need to recalibrate. But like, if it just feels like every little,
I worked with an ER before,
but it's not even that. I think that they realize that it's just like, how about you don't tell me my baby's ugly the first time you see it, you know, like that kind of, and then it's just like this has been over a year of my life, you know, like could it be better? Of course it could. Of course. I found something recently that was one of those, like, we need to launch on Friday. We're just going to put text in here and we're going to come back and we're going to put an actual URL. And then no, we never did. Of course we did it. But But there's a way to say that it could be better versus just being like, oh, like, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
How was your work summer, Melinda?
My work summer was good. I wound down a couple clients, just my workload. And then, the clients I have are really great and the work has been great. I'm trying to do I'm trying to find the thing. And I know if I'm being totally honest, which I always am here, it's mostly coming from a comparison point. And I know the comparison is the thief of joy. I'm aware of that. The point is, I feel like my colleagues are so much smarter than me, like technically. I feel like they know flow and data security. And I'm all, can I fix your page layout? Did you know that we can do themes? So I'm trying to find like a thing that I want to be better at. So I thought, well, maybe I could be the form assembly guru, but we have a few, which is fine. Like I could still learn my thing. And I still am trying to dip my toes more in flow because it has so many capabilities. And I'm just almost there. There's one variable in them that just stumps me a little that I have to be walked through. But then I went and looked. And did you know that flows have some cool templates that you can download?
No.
You can download like the get feedback template for your flow. So it looks all get feedbacky, but it's a flow, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Interesting.
So yeah, so I signed up. I bit the bullet and did the thing where I committed to 2 certifications before the end of the year. The Community Cloud Specialist, which I've taken before. I did. I took it before, did pretty decent, really bombed the admin section, which makes sense. I've never admined a community. I've just stood one up. And, the NPSP, which is a requirement for ARCIS. Like we do a lot of work with NPSP, and it'll be a good opportunity for me to understand parts of it. And I have a couple colleagues to teach me, because the parts of NPSP I don't get, aside from the technical side, is like really like the business. Like I don't like recurring donation, in-person donation, like friend of a friend donation, ghost donation. Like there's so much that I just don't always get.
2 thoughts of that. Like I'm literally sitting forward, so excited, ready to interrupt you. Number 1, we literally talked about the NPSP certification at our nonprofit user group meeting last Wednesday. And not that you would follow CLT SFUGs on the Twitter, but if you do,
I retweet your shit.
You would see a link to the best. I'm out. I got my Vino Ninja cooling pack on my bottle, but now it's empty, so it doesn't really help that it's cold. That is apparently the best trail mix for the NPSP certification. They specifically said, I did on last Wednesday. I'll send it to you as well, or I can retweet it. But literally multiple times she called it the magic trail mix, and it was built by somebody who I think like used to teach the course or something. Like it's really good. But that was one thing. What was the other thing I just wanted to tell you? Gosh dang it.
Community Cloud story.
No, something else from
that. Learn flows, comparing myself to colleagues. Data security. Everybody's smarter than me.
Oh, my awesome friends here in Charlotte are doing so our nonprofit user group leader, Sherry Lavelle, our local Cloud for Good goodie, Allie Irvin, and our co-leader now of our nonprofit user group leader, Jen Bin, who just started a new job. I need to check in with her. They are planning a nonprofit day. Unfortunately, I will be gone. So they're doing a half-day event because we got to talking about how everyone's like, oh, you just learned the trailhead. Now what? You don't know enough to get a job. What does everyone say when you're in that scenario?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone says, go help a nonprofit. Yep. Well, guess what? You need to learn how nonprofits work and what they do and why, so that you don't just go screw them up. So they've planned a half day, and then people are going to have dev orgs and come back, and they're going to have like a demo jam, basically. I'm so excited. And so I think it will be great. And then we'll have to see if we can get them to take it on the road or make it virtual, or I don't know. But I think the idea is really great, that it's like we need to understand, because even in listening, they were talking about the nonprofit. So Lauren Gibson is a consultant now for Coastal Cloud, and she's a local. She presented with Allie about the nonprofit NPSP certification, and even in just having the conversation, like they'd bring up a topic and kind of how it was in the test, and people were coming up with examples, and it was so interesting to think about just with householding and just all kinds of recurring gifts and just different things that I just have like literally no interaction with. But conceptually, I can talk to you about cross object formulas and like be a nerd about reports and stuff. But like, yeah. So anyway.
Well, I mean, like structurally, you can look at a schema or you can look at the objects and be like, cool, I get it. But for me, it's the fundamental of the fuck, why? Why do I need affiliations and 47 goddamn donation fields? Mostly because I don't understand how nonprofits work. I know enough to be dangerous. I worked with a nonprofit in California briefly, but I didn't like do their books or anything. So I think understanding how they get their money, how they report on their money, how they're supposed to pay taxes on money and yada or not. That's probably wrong. But understanding that has been more helpful. And that's why I've kind of shied away from even signing up for the test because I just didn't know. So I have amazing colleagues, Sam Safin and Haley Tuller, that are like crazy smart about nonprofits. And I actually think, well, Haley's a vet. So I don't know if she just has experience in it or whatever. So they've been helping me. I just send them Slack messages like, I don't think I understand why and what's this and why am I doing an impersonation donation? And they're like, that's not what it's called. let's go back here.
Well, I don't know what website.
It's like, why am I faking a date? And they're like, no, you get credit for it for taxes. So anyway, so the long and short of it is I committed to signing up and I booked both those exams for October and November, because if anyone else is like me, I will just think about it. And then if I actually book it, then I will make myself study. And
that's why I'm taking a test on Thursday. Because at Salesforce Saturday, the second Saturday of the month, I was like, suck it up and just do it, Kristi. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And then the Winter 20 release is supposed to be like, am I saying that right? Winter 20? Yeah. Yeah, that's the next one, right? It's supposed to be huge. Dreamforce is coming up.
Maybe I got to go read them release notes.
Yeah, Justin put out there, like, it's a big, beefy, chunky one. And I'm not going to say that I'm in the dark, but from not being part of leading a user group anymore, I rely on that. Like, I used to either deliver part of it or sit and listen to it, which it doesn't mean I cannot visit the Denver user group and still be a part of it. So yeah, maybe I'll just go visit them. Hopefully they'll do that.
It is
but
interesting.
I am not going to read user notes. I'm going to read Jen Lee's blog, or I'm going to watch some snippets. I'm going to sign up for the webinars and never show, and then I'm going to get the recording and not listen. So really, let's get real.
But it's easy to focus on the things that you already use and know. Like I say, I've been in a communities rabbit hole, so it's easier to focus on those things. But then somebody's like, lightning knowledge, and I'm like, let me figure that out.
Lightning scheduler. What? Yeah.
I mean, now you've got Salesforce Maps.
What?
Map Anything's acquisition. What? They're now called Salesforce Maps. And it's, I mean, it's still a license, but it's part of Hey, would you rather it be called Lightning Maps? No.
This is true. Who called me today? Hold on. Oh, I will not name his name in case he does not want to be named. Called us Oracle 2.0, as in Salesforce in general. And I was like, is that a dig? Is that bad? Do we not like Oracle? What's happening? I feel like that was a dig. Should we not do that? So apparently, but all the acquisitions, there's a part where you're like, uh-oh, were we becoming a monster? I don't want to be a monster.
No.
We have all the things. Oh, okay. So
we're more fun.
Lightning Scheduler. Okay. Here's a fun thing about not knowing anything. And anyone that's new to the ecosystem and or new to the podcast, just know you're not ever going to know anything. So when we bring new people on to Arcus, they have a period where they help take notes, or they help with like side work, whatever like you can do. And I asked 2 new people, like, I just need some brains on this. And I'm like, basically we're trying to come up with if you have this skill and you're available at this time, then, show this this availability or this opportunity. And I was like, man, that's like suggesting an Amazon. And I'm like, I'm trying to literally think about how I would create that from the ground up. They were like, so there's like Precursive app out there or Lightning Scheduler. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, that's so smart. I just was like, all right, from scratch, how am I going to build this? And then thank goodness I asked people that are like out of the weeds of it or like haven't been thinking about it so much. And they're like, here's like 4 apps. Or you could even like do volunteers for Salesforce and just throw that on in free. I was like, man, I'm so glad for the hive brain.
Teamwork.
I truly, if I was left to my own devices, I probably would have spent far too much time trying to figure out how to do an if-then, crazy amounts of formulas to try and say, okay, if this skill matches this, and then this time, then make this available.
So,
no,
somebody built.
Don't need
somebody
to do it.
Built it.
We've acquired it.
Isn't that so
somebody
handy?
Built it already.
That's the best.
Yeah, it's smart. And usually I used to be don't recreate the wheel, go find it. And somewhere along the way, I'm just like, how am I going to build this? Well, you don't have to.
You have resources at your disposal.
And
disposable.
I have lots of resources. I get to, when I was in New York and after we did the pro bono day, we as a team went to the Yankees game, almost called it the Arkies game. That's not what it is. That's what we are. And I got to spend time with new colleagues that I only see on Slack. And I mean, not to brag, but super brag. I work with some really amazing people.
Yeah.
Like big brains and great personalities and like good hearts. And I got to spend time with a lot of people with great senses of humor and sitting on the subway out to whatever field the Yankees play at, Yankees Field. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
So
I think it's Yankee Stadium.
Definitely feel like I'm in an environment where I can say, oh, I need help. And they can say, yeah, there's 4 apps out there and not feel judged or like, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm not a credible source anymore. It was just more like, hey, did you think of this? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't. Thank you so much.
There's too much to know.
It's a refreshing space to be in. There's too much to know.
Yes.
Too much.
So
way too much.
Do you feel like you found your thing, or are you still looking for your thing that's going to be your thing?
I don't know.
That you're the guy.
Again, like it was born out of comparison of like, wow, Sam's super smart and like says things sometimes that I was like, wait, what? Where's that? How did you know that? Like she's just wicked ass smart. And then like everyone is like, oh, I love this. I love flows. I do this thing. And I'm like, and again, I know that I'm smart, but I definitely have those moments where I was like, is my forte lightning layouts? Because I feel like that is like Comic Sans of Salesforce.
Hey, I did surprise. I did a Dreamforce theater session about it. So you know what?
That's right. Lightning gumshoe. That's layout gumshoe.
So, okay.
But then again, no, you're right. The other day I was like, too, though, the same breath was, I don't need to be something I'm not. Like other things can be my thing. And I told you like early on that I'm not used to not having a greater goal or a thing that I'm reaching for. So I'm just trying to find a thing that I can hone the skill. Kind of why I booked the certs. Like those will encourage me to do some trailheads and do more learning. Do I get on trailhead when I have downtime? I don't. I mean, I just don't. It's just not what I do. I would love to say that I do, but I'm not patient enough to be like, I'm just going to do this trail. But if I am like, oh, okay, I'm learning the NPSP for the cert, then I'll take the trail mix or the module and actually listen or, pay attention instead of getting to the end to get my badge. I want the confetti.
Oh, step with the confetti.
There's confetti now. You can make confetti available in everywhere.
No, I hadn't heard.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I can't tell if you're getting my sarcasm and don't find me amusing, or if you think I actually didn't know that.
I just needed water.
You're just agreeing with me. I got it. Okay.
Confetti in every word.
So I feel like, especially after a summer of less of you, that I could go on and on. But I think we're at a junction point here. Do we want to keep talking? Do we want to take a wine refill break and come back another time? Or do we want to keep talking? What's the other choice?
I think we could naturally do our super faves and any of the other things I have to chat about. It's not like we can't chat about them later.
Okay.
Who doesn't want to hear about my therapy?
I want to hear about pausing to sharpen the saw, but
yeah, well, that's kind of like taking the certifications. It's if you read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like you do the thing, you do the thing, you do the thing, but if you don't pause to learn more or take a moment to hone another skill, you just are continually to dull the sauce. So taking a moment to stop and like, I'm going to stop. And when I have a free moment, I'm going to do flows. When I have a free moment, I'm going to learn more about data security or is it data security? It's security and setup. It's kind of in the line of the architect path, which that's not what I'm going for, but I think it'd be a good thing, anybody to know security, the security model, and good security in the get-go of any org in general is kind of the basis. So yeah, that was just kind of that. And what is your super fave, Kristi Campbell?
No, hi, my super fave. I'm gonna go with charcuterie. I feel like I've developed apparently like straight men. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe just some of them. But I just feel like there's something about it that feels like a uniquely girls' nighty thing. I don't know. But I guess not. I don't know. It was lovely. I just love being out and just sitting and chat. Maybe it's just my association with the whole thing. I just love sitting there and you're talking and then you're like, try this cheese, and then you try it with a fig, and then you try it with some jam and a cracker. I don't know. I know, right? Like some it's prosciutto. Just
yes. It's very
just having some wine, a little charcuterie, little meatsies and cheesies, and some random little jams in there. Yeah,
it's communal. I like it.
How about you?
I'm a big fan of the kombucha these days. I started drinking it for good gut health thingy, but I actually like it. I
actually like it
either way before. It was kind of an aggressive flavor. It was just aggressive before, but I'm an aggressive person. I mean, everything about me is aggressive, so I like it now. Now I'm like, I need all the kombucha. I was like, do you have that on tap? I'll have a kombucha. So it's my new favorite. I don't know if I have a brand favorite yet or a kind.
You probably weren't there when we had the conversation we had a lovely conversation at Witness Success about kombucha and how I feel like it's basically like drinking feet. Andrea Terrell and Angela Mahoney just love it.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. It's weird. Yeah. I'm a fan now. A real fan. I'm all, ooh, it's noon. It's time for my kombucha.
It's kombucha time.
I get all giddy about it. I work from home a lot. I'm alone a lot.
And on that note, stay
I'm
witty.
Alone so much.